All right, we're going to install the double din radio, the Pioneer unit, into the Cat Eye Chevy today. First thing you're going to need to do is put the emergency brake on. Okay, good. Then you're going to need to turn the key in the ignition to accessory and drop it all the way down into first gear. First gear. Okay, good. Don't judge my pink house key. After that, you're going to pry around the dash to remove it, like this. Just grab it, and you can just pull these things off. These are the easiest trucks in the world to work on. All right. And then just up and out. There she is. I'm gonna set that right there. The next step is you've got 1, 2, 3 7mm bolts right there, and you just want to take them suckers out. And with those bolts out, you should be able just to grab the radio, wiggle it out. Yeah, and on the back you've got a couple of connectors. Let me show you. You have your antenna right here, which should just pull straight out. Bloop, there it goes. And then you've got this, which is going to be all your signal wires and your power and all of that good stuff. So doing this one-handed is a little tricky, but I'm going to give it a shot. Nope, I'll be right back. All right, so it was tricky to do one-handed, not too bad two-handed. It's got these two things here, right? A blue one and a gray one, and you squeeze them. I think the gray one's the only one that actually holds it in there, but at any rate, it's free. So now, put the new one in. I got an installation kit. An installation kit I'm not going to recommend. It was, the frame is terrible, so I'm having to modify it and cut it and hot knife it. Take your time, do your research better than I did. Be better than me, all right? Buy one that fits well. But it came with this handy dandy little harness, which should connect into the stock harness, right? And then just give me wires so I don't have to cut anything. And then this is the harness that came with the head unit itself. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to first test fit all of this stuff, make sure the clips actually work. And then I'm going to match color to color, right? I'm just going to use some squeeze connectors. You can solder if you'd like, or you can take this connector that came with the head unit, and you can connect these wires directly to the wires in the back of the radio. And you can do that in a couple of different ways. One way that I don't recommend, because I don't like cutting stock harnesses, but you can cut the harness so that you just left the raw wire, or you can peel that cover back and just use the clips, you know, where you have two wires that clip into one another. Either one of those options will work. I think this is going to be the cleanest option, but now I'm going to test it and make sure it actually fits. There we go. It appears that it fits. So now I'm going to take this back out and just splice it into the one that came with the head unit. 2 down, like 1,000 to go. I'm just matching colors. White to white, white with black stripe to white with black stripe. Keep matching colors, you get it done. All right, it's like 2 hours later, but I think I got everything wired up correctly now. One thing that wasn't mentioned in any instructions, the red wire coming off of the radio harness. You would think, hey, put it in the red wire that comes into the truck, right? No, don't do that. So what I wound up doing, because I've tested it, I've tried it, I spliced it into the brown wire off of the air conditioner. I saw another guy do it, and I gave it a try, and it worked. So that's an important thing to note. If your radio is not firing up, red wire off the back of the radio into, I just used this, but it's just going to be, I think it's just a switched 12 volt is the only thing that it is. That way it turns on with the truck. So keep that in mind. All right, everything's still discombobulated, but the harness is connected and the antenna is connected. Let's see if I've got anything. Yeah, you power it up. Cool. This next, it's Pioneer. Okay. Some kind of warning. I've got sound out of my speakers.
9.
Hey.
Peter goes on to explain.
Los Angeles.
Okay, cool. Sounds pretty good too. Okay, cool. So it works. Now let me get the other connections put in so we can see about it. All right, so this radio and the adapter kit and the camera all came with a bunch of goodies. So I'll need this. This is the wiring harness for the backup camera. Put that over there. This is the USB extension. I may need that, so I'll keep it here. What do we got? XM. Not using XM. So backseat. Okay. Ooh. These will go in the glove box. It's like subwoofer and rear monitor, stuff like that, which I may mess with later. Maybe. These are USB extensions, and so I can like cut a hole in the dash. I'm not gonna do that right now, but I will later maybe. That's another one. That's the microphone. I will be needing that. Figure out how to mount it. And then remote. What else? Oh, an aux cord, just like in high school. I don't need that. It's got CarPlay. So let's get all the rest of the stuff installed. All right, microphone. This dude. So I'm gonna take the business end here. I'm gonna run it through the gap between this, and I'm gonna feed it back through so that it comes out behind the radio, and then it's gonna plug in right there. So wire's gonna go in through here, around through this hole back here, and into that. Now I'm gonna do that. So the microphone is plugged in. I just ran it through this gap here, right? That's all I did, and it will sit behind this and be hidden and be clipped on to the trim or the dash whenever it's back, and it'll be sitting right there. It'll be nice. And now this piece that I didn't mention earlier because it was sitting off to the side, this is for, well, it says steering wheel control. We're not worried about that because I have basic steering wheel. But this piece right here, rear view camera in, that is important. So that's where this harness comes into play. And I'm going to run it all through the dash and the door, and it's going to be a huge pain in the neck, and you're probably just going to have to figure out how to do that on your own. That's going to be really hard for me to film, I'm not going to lie to you. But basically just tuck it and stuff it and don't let it touch anything hot or moving, and you'd be okay. I'm going to do that now. A few cold beers and a lot of bad words later. The wire ran. I got it through right up here under the brake pedal. I'm not going to show you how I did it. You'll figure it out. You're going to cuss and get mad and drink and throw stuff just like I did to figure it out. It's fine. Come up through the rubber deal there. I followed the wiring harness all the way from the tailgate up here. That's where we're at right now. I got that wire ran, and it connects right here. See? Rear view camera in. So I got that. And then on this it's purple with a white stripe. It says reverse gear signal input. So that'll activate the rear view screen, if you will, on that. And that needs to connect to this wire, which I'm going to connect just after I connect this one, and I'll show you where. Let's see if it worked. I'm going to put it in reverse. Truck's off, but hey, look at that. I have reverse signal. I can see my messy garage. Cool, so that works. That means it's time to button it up a little bit better. Okay, I've got everything plugged in. It's going to be plugged in. I know I said I wasn't going to plug in this thing with the amp and like the rear video out. But I plugged it in because if I put it in that glove box, I would lose it. I've got kids. This is going to be our road trip machine. We plan on doing some camping trips and stuff in this. So I may as well do it now. Maybe I'll get some Escalade seats or something in the future. But yeah, so it's all plugged in, and I'm going to try to attach it and see if it all fits. All right, let's go back under the truck. Wow. All right, so that red and black wire that came with my backup camera wiring harness. So if you look up here, in this harness running to the rear tail light, there is a green wire, right? There's a couple of blues, a brown, a black, and a green. Tap the red one into the green. The black one that came with it, I have discovered is useless. It doesn't need to be there. So I'm going to zip tie this and clean it up all nice up out of the way and tuck this back into the loom. And then we're going to test it, see what it does before I reinstall the radio into the dash. Got everything hooked up and it's still just sitting here, but it's all connected. My lovely wife has hooked her phone up to it. And so we see the maps work and Spotify works, phone works, backup camera works. Cool, I'm happy with it. Gonna snug this all up and should be good. I still need to make a frame because like I said earlier, the kit that I got was trash. See if I can find a good American or German or Japanese or Canadian or Cambodian, pretty much anything but Chinese, because it was just off. It did not fit. Anyways, hope this helps. Bye.